Yep, there we go. Sometimes OBS sort of has a think about whether it wants to change to a new screen. But it does not. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hope you're doing well. You can hear the crashing of Travis Sabor in the background, the RPG music maker who does all the who's generously gives his music for free. Well, not free, but I credit this music for when we're using these streams. But hello, my name is Fiona, she, her pronouns, and I am the host of What Am I Rolling, a twice-monthly RPG one-shot podcast. And welcome if you're first time here. First time to not do... I don't even know the name of the stream. Too long did not read streams. Basically, it's almost like an accountability stream. I've got loads of RPGs I need to read and find some interesting things about. So I do a stream like this where we can have a quick read through, usually a quick start, and then obviously promote where they come from and why you should be interested in them, and we just go from there. I hope you're all well. Yeah, I'm trying out something new today. It's the fact that I'm now back on Twitch. Shh, don't tell anyone. So yeah, I'm currently trying to broadcast to 2 different places at once, thanks to the wonderful Restream, because I was like, I enjoyed my time over on YouTube. I do really like it, but there's something missing, and that is Twitch chat. But do not worry, no matter where you're coming from today, I'm really glad that you're here and in the process of just joining me for an interesting different sort of read through, essentially. What we're going to look at today is a RPG called Rapscallion, which, first of all, cracking name. It is published by Magpie Games, who I believe, if I just have a quick look at their other products, whilst the music crashes over, folks. Yep, they do Root, they've done Bluebeard's Bride, Masks, A New Generation, Cartel, I was going to say Ashcans. Those are just Ashcans, those are just sort of quick starts. Passion de la Passions, Root, and it looks like Avatar Legends as well. So they're well known for several things, but I'd never heard of Rapscallion, if I'll be honest with you, until one of our regular Discorders, Brian, sort of recommended it to me a couple of weeks ago, so I thought I'd just pop it in my sort of schedule and see when I'd get around to it. And it turns out tonight D&D has been postponed, and I didn't really have any other plans to do, so I thought gotta do a stream, gotta do something, otherwise what's the point? So here I am. Let me know if the music's a little bit too loud or anything like that, or if you can't hear me, just let me know in the stream. I'm going to turn it down a little bit for my poor ears, but hopefully you can hear what I'm saying. We've got the captions going, everything's going really well, so let's just dive right into it. Wow. Okay, so we're going to look quickly at the screen. We're going to quickly look at the... Let's try to unlock it. The actual product page on the Magpie Games website. First of all, look at that cracking image. Feels very much like Return to Monkey Island vibes, all that sort of thing. Like I said, I don't know anything about this game, and obviously I will say I've obviously not been sponsored to look at these games or anything like that, but these are quick starts that are quickly available, so if you want to check this out whilst we're reading it through, or check it out after the stream is finished, just go to magpiegames.com and it is there, and I've put the link already in the chat if folks are interested. So, what's in this quick start? So everything you need to play a game of Rapscallion whilst it's still in development. So yes, this game's still in development just now. It says it's fully illustrated, 6 crew books, 6 playbooks, 2 ship playbooks, and updated GM materials. So in case you haven't guessed, it's very pirate themed. You could probably see from the image there. So let's have a read of what the bio says. The Royal Navy has been hot on your trail for weeks. The pirate kings want your head after you pulled off a heist that relieved them of a sizable amount of treasure. You know you should feel worried, but all you see, looking across the deck of your ship, is the vast blue ocean. Salt air brushes against your face, softer than any lover you've ever had. You can't imagine feeling more free. So it feels very much like that sort of first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, or Sea of Thieves. I love Sea of Thieves as a video game. It's so much fun. It proper saved my life in the pandemic times. Your crew might be a strange group, and you can't say that you trust them completely, but at a moment's notice, they are still ready to sail through the monster-infested waters or scale a corrupt noble's castle walls. Pirates through and through, each of them ready for anything. And you've got your own, and you've got secrets of your own. Perhaps you are an escaped noble fleeing from the burden of responsibilities. Or maybe a mechanical construct given life by a cruel master. Either way, it is fair to say that the night black void orb that you have acquired at the last port may have an effect on your health. No matter. There are adventures to be had and treasures to plunder, so sail on, my hearties. Yo-ho. Rapscallion is a tabletop role-playing game in which you play a rambunctious crew of pirates, testing their luck against the unpredictable winds of fate. Wow, what an introduction. I love this little description about getting you into that vibe and getting you into the sort of like theme. Because I don't actually know many RPGs that are pirate themed per se, like other than like Pirate Borg. Obviously that is sort of, you know, comes from the sort of the carved from Morkborg type sort of death metal type thing. This one seems always very heroic, so very much like I can imagine you doing a Muppets Treasure Island type thing here, or Treasure Island in general. The idea that you can also be constructs as well gives that sort of almost like steampunk angle to it as well. And yeah, really like that in terms of style and stuff. Now that the music's sort of quietened down a little bit, I'm going to put us on something a little bit more gentle, just so we've got it. Let's try Yawning Portal Looped, whatever that means. All right. So, yep, that's really good. And then I'll just say as well, obviously, Magpie Games, going back to the products as well, you can find them, any of these games. I've played, which ones have I played? Bluebeard's Bride I've played and run several times. Love it. I think it's one of my favourite dark horror RPGs. Not for everyone, though. Masks on this side. Let me move over the screen there. Masks I've also played in, which is a bit like young superheroes. So not full-on Marvel, but lots of teen angst. If you've played Monster Hearts, it's a very similar vibe to that as well. Cartel I've not played. Root I have played a quick start of. Passions de la Passions I have not played. I have it though, and I'd love to try that out. Something like, basically it's a Spanish soap opera. I think using Powered by the Apocalypse. And then most recently Avatar Legends has just come out, which is exciting. I will admit I'm not an Avatar watcher. I didn't grow up with it myself, but I know it is quite near and dear for other people. Hello, Dead Toothbrush. Hello, how are you doing? How are you doing? I'm pulling a U, actually. I'm both on here and on the other place. So I took your advice about Restream, and hopefully it's working. So yeah, I'm just explaining what we're doing just now. That is that we're going to look at... Where's it gone? Oh, it's because it's an ash can. It's a piece of that. That's why. But yeah, we're going to look at Rapscallion, which is this like sort of pirate-themed, more Monkey Island and Muppets Treasure Island than more Pirate Borg, so to speak. But yeah, very excited to get into it. Let's dive right in then. Oh my god indeed. Oh my god indeed. So, let's have a quick look. So first of all, cracking image. It's the same obviously we saw on the product page. I love this little monkey character. Super cute. You've always got to have a monkey in these things. But yeah, let's just dive right in. Oh, already I can see tiny writing. Oh, God. All right, enhance. Enhance. Right, what does it say here? Rapscallion Quick Start. This Quick Start is a bare-bones preview of the Rapscallion RPG. If you want to run a few sessions of Rapscallion, this has everything you need. 6 game playbooks, 2 of its ship's playbooks, all of its basic moves and how to deal with harm, trouble, luck and bond. Ship moves and rules, downtime moves and how to use them, and guidelines for running play. These rules aren't set in stone. Okay, so that's good to know. It's like a work in progress type thing. And there still might be changes coming based on your feedback and playtests. You'll be best equipped to use this quick start if you've already chummy with the Power by the Apocalypse game framework. That makes sense because of the playbooks. That is sort of a big core item there. If you played any of the other RPGs under that umbrella, so like Masks, Urban Shadows, or the original Apocalypse World, even better. But if you are a novice, that's fine. Jump in feet first, take risks, and have foolhardy fun. Fantastic. The writing is too small. I know. I'm going to enhance it once more. Oh God, it's so small. Oh God, I need to update my glasses at some point. Anyway, let me move. So there we go. We've got them on there. Perfect. All right, let's be pirates. Yar, indeed. Oh, let's look at these. So art, design, and writing by Whistler. Ooh. Art direction, Marissa Kelly. So Marissa Kelly is on Bluebeard's Bride, which is what I was just saying earlier. So that's cool that they are back for more. Mark Diaz-Truman did the Cartel, which was the other one that I mentioned as well. Oh, they're all in it together, aren't they? Special thanks to Luke Crane and his book Mysteries and Misfortunes for inspiring the Renown mechanic. I think Luke Crane, I'll have to double check. I wonder if he is the... Oh, I've got it over there, whatever book it is with mice. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. Whatever. Alright, well, first of all, let's look at the art. Love that. The colours are so vibrant on that. Very sort of like... It's very different to some of the other art we've been looking at recently in these streams as well. Very colourful, very pretty. Again, at some point, will we have postcards? I just want lots of postcards of RPG art. That's all I want. Right, back to enhancing. I'm looking at these tiny, tiny writings. Okay. Rapscallion is a tabletop role-playing game about pirates sailing on a dangerous magical sea. In this game, you'll play as a roguish pirate crew. Your goal is to have adventures, find treasure, and get into trouble. And in brackets, and hopefully out again. This game is about adventure. You're beset on all sides by navy ships, bounty hunters, and rival scallywags. But lo, you've got a dirty trick up your sleeve, and Lady Luck is on your side. Plunder and parley, gamble and laugh, piss off a god. Play to find out if you live to tell the tale. Oh man, I'm already loving this. Rapscallion uses a modular world. Every game will look a little different, and your adventure will take place on a great sea that has never been seen before. Feels very Sea of Thieves already, as I sort of mentioned earlier. Later in this quick start, you'll learn how to create your very own map of the sea, that sea together on page 10. Ooh, that could be quite fun for world building. Why did I read this before my workshop yesterday? However, there are a few things that must remain constant throughout each iteration of the tales that you tell. Stable pieces of story that will keep this a Rapscallion game. These are concepts and ideas that will show up throughout this quick start, so it's best to introduce them now. Alright. Alright, the crew. You're a crew of dastardly pirates, in red, just in case we were going to miss that, and you sail aboard a pirate ship. Today, your bounties are low and your pockets are empty, but you aim to change that. There are 6 different types of pirates called playbooks that a player can pick from in this quick start. No matter which pirate you pick, you are a crew with 1,000 enemies, and the only dubious friends you have are each other. We'll see if that's enough. Remember, every pirate has their vice. Play to find out if those vices catch up with you. The Fates. One player on your crew takes on a special role, that of the Fates. If you are the Fates, you act as the seas, the winds, the world. You play every seafaring monster and every terrible storm. You aren't the enemy of the players. Your role is to make their lives exciting, cinematic, and special. Do the world justice. Play to find out what happens next. So the Fates are going to be what they're going to call the GM or DM. I love that. Oh. Who are you today, Fiona? I am the Fates. The world with laws. In this world, there are forces of law in red. These forces are land-dwelling, corrupt, and cruel. They hoard wealth, land, and power. Your group gets to decide how depraved law can be. If your world has colonialism, they are colonialists. If your world has slavery, they are slavers. In the face of this monotonous evil, piracy is violent, wild, and most of all free. On the edge of the law's eye line, a great horde of patchwork pirate crawls on the sea. A great horde of patchwork pirates crawls along the sea and makes rude gestures. Feels very Terry Pratchett in its writing, doesn't it? Humans live in the world with laws, toiling under the thumbs of the powerful. Perhaps you were one of them once. It's interesting how it talks about colonialism and slavery. I guess that again, I'm sure it's going to do like a boundaries and safety tools in a second, because I know not everyone wants to do that. But it is true. It's such a big trope in pirates, right? That they go. You know, it is about slavery. It is about colonialism in a way, like fighting, rebelling against these big things. World with outlaws. The rest of the world is a lawless domain of pirates and myth, in red. And it is mostly seas. The seas are the canvas for your adventure. Past the margins of the map are stranger, more dangerous seas. Here, legends blend in with reality, and every suspicion has a grain of truth to it. Pirates call it marginal illa. Oh no. Oh, they call it magic. Or they call it strange. I guess it's obviously off the map, right? The magic of the sea comes in many colours, but you'll find these colours in the quick start. First one, death. Death is a force, an entity that lurks beneath the sea. When it comes to collect, you can make an attempt to make a deal with it. Be warned, it is not known to be lenient. Death is the domain of curses, and ghosts and sirens. For the algorithm. Thank you very much for the stats. Ignore all this. This is just purely distraction. Oh, well, I appreciate you going on both, Dan. I appreciate Incredible. The fact you're looking at both streams, it must be an absolute nightmare. Hopefully you've muted one of them at least. Alright, the second type of magic, demons. Demons corrupt, consume, and make deals. They possess no bodies, so they must borrow somebody else's. Oh. In return for pieces of you, they'll give you powers beyond your imagination. Oh, so you get almost like warlocks happening. Oh, beyond your imagining, sorry, not beyond your imagination. I mean, same difference. Third, the sea and the sky. These are domains of fate, luck, and prophecy. The stars will always guide you wherever you truly desire to go, and show you what you truly need to see. They ask for your lucidity in return. The sea contains Leviathans, who are its servants and swords. And finally, the most important bit of magic, books. Books must be made with good, permanent ink by a true wordsmith to become magical. Such a book will transport you, invigorate you, hypnotize you, trap you, or curse you. If you put too much of yourself in them, books take on a life of their own. This is how a djinn is born. Ooh, interesting. I'm here for the live echo. Oh no! Oh no, echo. I don't want to reply. So the further away from the law you sail, the more the world becomes alchemy, which makes humans who live in the world without laws look very strange indeed. That includes you. You could be a cyclops, a siren, a selkie. You could be cursed. You could be touched by the gods. A liar's tongue will turn black, and those who kill the Leviathans stay in their hands forever. Oh, ooh, look, there's a cyclops there. Oh, those colours on that are gorgeous. It really feels like light from the fire and how different it is from that window. All right, setting up a game. Oh, I should say this is about 40 pages long, this quick start, so it's a little bit on the shorter side from some of the other ones we've been looking at. So, setting up a game. Let's make a pirate crew together. This section will not only go through character creation, but also the process of setting up your game's world and your pirate ship. Don't do it alone. No. First, gather your crew together and discuss safety tools that you might use to set the boundaries on your experience, like listing lines and veils, which is a system developed by Ron Edwards, found at this link. Great. Oh, you actually have a link to it. That's pretty good as well. Or using the X card with that link there as well. Enhance one more zoom. Once you're on the same page, you're ready to get started. Here's what you need. Paper, pencils, 2 6-sided die at least, printouts of the character playbooks, ship playbooks, and basic moves. Find them all online as a printable PDFs. And snacks, in brackets, optional. Always have snacks. Finally, you'll need a world map, a large piece of paper that you can put in the centre of the table where everyone can see it. The fates will show you what's on it. Right now, there's to be a few islands and some notable locations, but you can add to it throughout character creation. Oh, excuse me. Clearly my snacks are repeating on me. Touching on reality. Before you touch a tale, you need to define it. Think of the following questions as your first and weightiest choices. Words have power, after all. Even in our world where books can't kill you. And using these words thoughtlessly has the potential to cause damage. These questions will help you get on the same page. Discuss all 3 of them together before you begin to tell the story. Okay, cool. So we start off with the question, why are the seas here? This isn't just a world-building question, but it's also about your game's relationship with real life. Is this game about a fictional ocean, unrelated to our own, where words like gin, Mountbeck, and junk are just shorthand for cultural concepts, not references to real things? Or is this a game perhaps set in a mythological corner of our real oceans, in the long-distance past or future, with all the nuances, with all the nuance and history that it entails? Oh, so it's a bit like this happens in Good Society, where it talks about like how accurate do you want to be? Do you want to be like completely farcical and none of it matters, whether some of it matters, or it has to be completely accurate and we will stop the game to make sure Regency period is respected? Cool. Right, question 2. What tone does this game have? When you broach touchy or traumatic subjects, you risk hurting your fellow players, so set boundaries on your experience now. What don't you want this game to be about? Is it okay for there to be prejudice in this world? Is it okay for there to be racism, homophobia, misogyny? Will your enemies be cartoonish villains, or will they be grisly slavers or colonists fresh out of the more honest history books? Set boundaries now to avoid hurting feelings later. And remember that these boundaries can change over the course of the game. Use your safety tools liberally. Nice. What is the story's genre? The final question. Of the two opposing forces we've discussed in the last section, the world of law and the world without laws, which do you want to be the focus of your game? If the law are dominant, well, I think it should be the laws are dominant, they become a terrible, monotonous enemy bending the sea to its whims, and pirates are ferocious underdogs nipping at their heels. If the world without laws is in charge, then the world is a wild, mysterious, and mythical, with many competing factions at each other's throats. Alright, next section. Agree on a ship. The pirate ship is the cornerstone of this story. It is the only constant. Your pirates might die, commit mutiny, or take the coward's route out and run. If they do, they will exit the story, because the story does not follow those who abandoned the ship and its crew. This story focuses on the ship and the pirates who crew it. That's really cool. This is going to sound so silly, but like last night I did a workshop. I ran a workshop about how important location is, and we shouldn't use it as like a side thought. It is as equal a player in your scenes. So we did lots of stuff about like playing, like here is the setting, we describe it in detail. How does this inform the character rather than you having a character just suggested and then ignoring the setting? So the fact that the story, this follows the ship rather than the characters who crew it, or the characters that are sort of associated with it, is really cool. There are 2 pirate playbooks listed in this quick start, and you should decide... Ooh, sorry, almost spilt my big drink there, that would have been really embarrassing. And you should decide which one appeals to your crew the most. The legend. This famous pirate ship may be old, but it has a long history and a powerful reputation. It's now yours, and you've got a long legacy to chase. And it says in sort of littler writing, which again is a little bit hard to read off the top of the sort of the back, sort of that space. Pick the ship if you want to be dashing, important, and established. Expect to have the eyes of the law and criminals alike trained on you from the get-go. You're set up to be the most famous pirates out there. Don't pick the ship if you want to earn your reputation. Okay. And then the other option we have is the Ramshackle. This homecraft boat is tied together with spit and a prayer. It may not look like much, but you put your heart and soul into it. Pick the ship if you want to tell a real underdog story. Forge on a found family and fight to make a name for yourself. Expect to run with your tail between your legs. Expect to struggle a bit. Don't pick the ship if you want to be famous and important. Oh, that's quite cool. I haven't downloaded the playbooks per se, but maybe I'll do that if they're not in this quick start. I'll maybe download them so we can have a quick look at them. Because presumably, with each playbook, it's like with Powered by the Apocalypse or even like Forged in the Dark, you have like an area like we upgrade this, we get the crew, etc., crew quarters or a lair, and we upgrade it between sessions. So that's probably what you do with this one. But that's quite cool that you decide that right at the beginning. You don't just go like, here is an example. This decision dictates the pace and tone of the entire game. It tells the fates what kind of pirates you want to be and what horizon you set your eyes on. This is why it's chosen before all else. Choose together and don't choose lightly. Mm-hmm. Location, location, location. Location, location, location. Poor you, Dan. Alright. Well, once we've got our ship sorted, let's pick a playbook. We have 6 character playbooks in it, and each playbook is a type of pirate that you might play. Think of them as archetypes. Pick one to make your character play. So we've got 6 here. So we've got the captain. You've got the commanding air of a general, the tongue of a snake oil salesman, and the ostentatious floppy hat of a real pirate captain. Pick this playbook if you want to inspire your crewmates, strategize massive ship battles, command forces of loyal lackeys, or simply to wear the biggest and blackest boots in any given room. Incredible. Oh, and there's a little bit at the bottom of that as well. So if you are the captain, expect a lot of treasure hoarding, politicking, and lackeys in your adventures. This playbook treats you as the de facto leader of your crew, if not the literal captain, and encourages you to be power hungry. Right, second playbook we've got is the swashbuckler. You are a dashing, dramatic corsair, a creature of the blade and of the heart, and you wield both with a romantic flair. Pick this playbook if you want to break hearts and look glorious. You have your passion and your steel. You are only in need of an audience, and your crewmates will have to do for now. If you are a swashbuckler, expect a focus on epic battles, over-the-top drama, and relationships between crewmates. These relationships might become intimate and passionate. Make sure you discuss boundaries with your fellow players. I'm already in. Oh, I want to play this game. Okay. The chronicler. In a land where your thoughts can turn your teeth black. Terrifying. Writing a book is a dangerous profession indeed. Oh, of course, we talked about the djinn stuff before. As a chronicler, you will delve into the most intimate of the seaborne magics, the art of the page. Unfortunately, the more of yourself you put into books, the more reluctant they are to release you. I think Hamilton and I were talking about the Myst games that had come out. They're 30 years old now, and that whole idea that people being trapped in books and using pages to get them out and stuff. And can you actually trust them? and don't heck it up. If you are a chronicler, expect an increased focus on knowledge gathering and long-term player-driven projects. This playbook faces the themes of escapism and social alienation. It will ask you how much control you wish to have over your creations. Oh, very cool. The Mate Lot. I think that's how you pronounce it. The sea makes simple creatures out of us all, and no one knows this better than you. You are the strongest person on the ship. The rigging has left imprints on your hands, and sleeping at sea has left vinegar in your blood. Oh. When the ship strips all else away, the crew will remain, and you're here to make sure of it. If you are a mate lot, expect to grapple with the themes of anger and control. Your rage keeps you strong and shields your crew from danger, unless it makes you the danger. Expect to break things, and not always the things you want to see broken. Oh. Like that. Okay. The Mountebank. I think that's how I pronounce it. The Mountebank. You've made a deal with the devil. Now dance, you lean little gambler. Dance, you bright-eyed magician with the dark fingers. Dance, you sweet-faced coward in the pretty dress. Dance to the devil's fiddle. In exchange, you'll get power, as foul as the old blood and addictive as new sugar. You are the stuff of sailors' nightmares. If you are the Mountebank, expect to have an established demonic NPC in your party. And your head. Oh, in your party and your head. Who probably won't have your best interests at heart. Before playing, discuss role-playing boundaries and sensitive matters, subject matter with the fates. And finally, we have the Navigator. There's a piece of the sea inside you. It lets you sculpt the waves, thread the winds, and hear the stars whispering. And unfortunately, the sea wants it back. You can shepherd your beautiful ship for 1,000 leagues, fleeing your pursuers like a fox from a hound, but the sea will find you someday. If you are the navigator, expect more focus on the ship and the stars and the sea. Expect fewer brawls and more messing with the fate from the shadows. This playbook gives you pursuers, and it shines most when you sometimes let them find you. How cool are those six very different books, and presumably, oh, don't freeze on me. There you go. Presumably, obviously, if you were running a quick start adventure with this, maybe you wouldn't have multiple people playing the same playbook. Like, I presumably you always have to have one captain. You always have to have one navigator, perhaps. Maybe you always have to have at least one in the party, no matter what you do. Although I like the idea that maybe not. Maybe, if you have a mutiny, you don't need a captain. But yeah, it'd be interesting. Is there a way to double up the different playbooks and make them different enough, perhaps? Because you imagine if everyone was the mountebank or however you pronounce it. Maybe some people like it's the mountebank, as well as it's mountback. It's the same book. Check your work. Remember, picking a playbook is a narrative choice before it is a mechanical one. It doesn't just dictate what weapons you're allowed to wield or whether you can wear armour or what dark magics you've dabbled in. When you choose a playbook, you're also choosing what stories you want to tell. Yeah, because it sort of says at the top there. I can already see there's this big thing that says, what if nobody wants to play captain? We'll come to that in a second. When you choose your playbook, you're also choosing what stories you want to tell, what vices you want to grapple with, and what narrative role you want to play on your crew. This also means you don't want to overlap playbooks with another player. If there are two mate lots on one crew, they may very well be very unique characters, but they will be grappling with the same sins and facing the same challenges. Every player should pick a unique playbook to prevent such redundancy. So there you go, it already says what you can do for that. Cool. Before you make your final choice, look over your playbook's abilities. Notice how much harm they can take, and the ways they might accumulate and use luck, a special resource that you can spend to help yourself out or make certain moves. Finally, read the playbook's vice, a weakness or trouble you just can't shake. These are all essential parts of the playbook's abilities, so you should be okay with them before moving on. Oh, look at that image. Oh, how beautiful is that image? I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. Oh, look. Oh, and it's got a skull on the thingy, on the actual scroll. Very cool. Very cool. But I hear you cry, what if nobody wants to play captain? That's totally fine. You should pick the captain playbook only if that playbook's themes and vices fit into your vision of the character. Otherwise, the captain of your crew is anyone who is willing to act as the de facto leader, which might change from session to session. Maybe you're going to have a democracy after all. Just make sure to discuss which character would best... Sorry, I'm laughing at my own. Nobody wants to be like captain. Which character would best fit that role? Probably it's a player. It should be a player and not a lackey, i.e. a non-player crewmate. Although I love that term of you saying lackey as a NPC. That's great. Oh, non-playable crewmate. Very cool. I've made that connection now. All right, choose your oddity. Each playbook comes with a choice of a few oddities. Qualities that distinguish you from the other unwashed rabble of the high seas. Pick one that appeals to you. This is your eye patch and your carrot and your parrot, your scars and your sins, your je ne sais quoi. All oddities come with baggage. Hooray! Some might give you enemies or unwanted attention. Others might compel you to do certain foolish things. Baggage isn't a bad thing though. Embrace the unsavoury side of your oddity. Think of it as an excuse to get into trouble. Each oddity comes with 4 numbers, and these are your starting traits. Write them in order in your 4 empty trait boxes at the top of your playbook. These traits can represent 4 piratish qualities, and they can be anywhere from -2 to +3. You add to them or subtract them from the dice that you roll. The traits are in the order that they're listed in your playbook. So we have blood, vinegar, polish, and spitfire. Blood. This is your liquid courage. When your wits and wisdom escape you, you're left with your will to survive and the pants you've woken up in. Use blood when you face danger, make trouble, or act daringly. Vinegar. On the high seas, being strong will keep you on top, but being cunning will keep you alive. That's you. Too damn clever for your own good. Use vinegar to fight dirty, outsmart your enemies, and know things you shouldn't. Polished. Oh, well-bred are you? Or just good at pretending? With that swift tongue and the sweet face, you're more dangerous than any sword. Use polish to talk your way in and out of trouble. And then finally, Spitfire. Here's that special something. Not everyone has it. Those who do are best avoided by civilized folks. It's the spark in the eyes, your naked soul, a wildness that the spirits of this world, and the next, might notice. Use Spitfire to twist your fate. They are very... I love the descriptions of these. Oh, very evocative. Alright, so once you've done that, once you've written down your... chosen your oddity and done your traits, look over your playbook moves. Your playbook has moves that only you can use. You usually start with just 2 of these moves, and then might get more as you advance. Read the starting moves as they will tell you what special tricks you can pull during play. Some of these moves will ask you to make choices about which powers or skills you possess. For example, the Matelock gets an extra 3rd playbook move that you can select from a list, and the Mountebank asks you to decide which devilish powers you can call upon during the story. As you read through these moves, make the decisions and mark your selections. So yeah, very typical standard Powered by the Apocalypse sort of running through sort of character creation. Because all of it is actually already predetermined. You just need to go through and make those choices. You know, it's like suggested ones that you sometimes get with D&D. It says, oh, if you're going to play this kind of character, you can play whatever you want. Here's some suggested ones to get you going, but otherwise just go for it. I'm always a big fan of that. Sometimes, if I take too long to read it, I kind of lose, like, I don't know what I want to play. I just roll up with the pre-gen or with a sheet that's mostly filled in and go, oh yes, this, and this, done. And that gets me excited and I'm already into play. And then finally we got choose your kit. At last, the most important part, the treasure! Each playbook provides a set of 3 unique kits to choose from. This is your loot. If it is in your kit, you can always say you have it on your person, and then in brackets, as long as it's not too heavy, or in your bunk, in brackets, if some varmint hasn't stolen it. What have you got in your pockets? What have you got in your pockets says a lot about you as a person, and sometimes baggage that comes with it. If there's something that you want that isn't in your kit, ask the fates, and maybe you'll get it. I know Magic the Gathering with like the Infinity stuff obviously has stuff where it's like what you've got on the table becomes parts of the game and stuff like that. I wonder, that'd be so cool to be like, okay, your character, what you've got on you as a person, that's what you've got as your character. And so right now I actually don't have anything on me because I take all my stuff out of my pockets when I get home, but it would normally be like keys, phone, my loop, not headphones, but loop earplugs, and my Oyster card. That's really going to help me. Cool. Each object in your kit has tags associated with it, which are described on page 21 of this quick start. However, you won't see tags listed in your kit. Commonplace items such as cutlasses, healing salves, tonics, or revolvers can be found in the appendix, where you may look at their tags. Up at leisure. Ooh. Keep in mind that anything with heavy requires blood to haul it around easily. So if the object is heavy, it will be emboldened in red, like this, to indicate it must be handled differently. Alright. Whoa, look at that image. As some sort of beetle or some sort of like class with a skull in it. Oh, that's such a great image. Oh, but thank God I did that because I would have just gone straight into answer the big questions. Alright, choose your name and look. Your name is what your crewmates call you. Oh, sorry, zoom in. It could be your real name, but it usually isn't. You're a pirate after all. You collect cool monikers like you collect scars. Your look is the most interesting thing about your character's appearance. Write an essay if you want, but keeping it simple is fine as well. Ask yourself, what's striking about this character? Shark teeth, eye patch, wild red hair barely contained in a bandana, cheerfully headless. Your looks don't need to include a gender. When in doubt, your gender is pirate. How fucking cool! Absolutely, yes. But you should include programs. But you should include the pronouns you like being. But it should include the pronouns you like to be called. Very cool. Very cool. Heck yeah. Answer the big questions. Your pirate is now clothed and armed. Go around the table and introduce your character to the crew. Describe your name, your look, and anything else your crewmates would know about you after months on the high seas. On the play sheet, you'll notice 4 questions that the playbook asks of your character. After introducing yourself to the table, go around a few more times, and each time on your turn, ask and then answer 1 question on your sheet. Jot down the answer next to the question you want. Sometimes, players may want to keep their answer secret from other characters. That's okay as long as it's not a secret from the other players. This is a collaborative process and works best if you can riff off each other's ideas. Sometimes you might not find an answer to the question just yet, which is fine. You can always fill in the answers later during play. Some pirates get their sea legs a few sessions deep. Final question of every playbook asks you to assign your bonds with the other characters. Okay, so there's that relationship stuff that went round before. We've done that on... Yeah, Bluebeard's Rise does that quite well. Sort of. And Fiasco does that quite well as well. You can gain up to 3 bonds with a single person, and you can spend a bond with them to lean on that relationship in some way. Having bonds with someone can mean anything. You might be fast friends, lovers, business partners, or hated rivals. You feel something about them, but the point is you should feel strong. The point is you feel it very strongly. Whenever you gain a bond, ask yourself, why do I care about this person? What is my relationship with them? I say that every single time anyway. If you're not sure yet, that's okay. Wait and see how it comes up in play. Most of your bonds should be with crewmates, but you can also take bonds with non-player characters, pirate rivals, faraway family members, officers of the law, or any person you want to develop an interesting relationship with. Return to the ship! Congratulations! You're now in full possession of a rascally ne'er-do-well. You can properly return to your chosen ship playbook. There are 2 decisions to be made about your ship, and both of which must be made collectively as a crew. If there is a disagreement, the fates may act as a tiebreaker. First, your ship has its own ship oddity. Its most striking and unique feature, the thing that makes it truly special. Each playbook has a selection of 3 oddities to choose from. Secondly, the crew should select the ship's kit, which will tell you what the ship might actually look like, in terms of size, sails, armours, cargo, and how many cannons and lackeys it comes with. When you pick a kit, pay attention to the 3 numbers listed next to that kit. These numbers are your ship's traits. The 3 traits fall between -2 and 3, and they're listed in this order. So for your ship, we have Steadfast, Speed, and Fortune. Steadfast indicates the ship's toughness. Give your ship a lot of steadfast, and if you want to sail into a fight fearlessly and to live to tell the tale. It determines your ship's total wreck tally, which is how well it takes punishment, which we can see on page 26. Cool. The speed, the ship's dexterousness, maneuverability, and speed. Give your ship a lot of speed if you want to escape situations, outsmart your opponents, or use a lot of tricky ship maneuvers. I've got to be careful. Ship maneuvers. Fortune, the ship's size, wealth, and space. More fortune means more guns, more crew, more cargo. Give your ship a lot of fortune if you want a bunch of lackeys, cannons, and extra features, because it determines the crew and cargo space of your ship. See page 25. When you've selected the kit, write these down in your trait boxes. Cool. And then answer the ship questions. So this will really only take about, I think, 30 minutes or so, but it obviously is going into a lot of detail about it. Read aloud your ship's 3 questions and answer them one by one. The questions, like those in the character playbook, will identify special properties of your ship. The first 2 questions are unique to the playbook, addressing important narrative concerns. The third will indicate your ship's name. Answer in collaboration. Brainstorm and exchange ideas. Treat the ship as a framing device, in which the story will settle like water in a glass. It represents how you want. It represents what you want out of the game, and how you aim to get it. All right. Draw on the map. Before you begin a proper session of Rapscallion with your brand new crew, the Fates passes round a world map. It's probably got a few scribbled additions on it already, since playbooks often instruct players to add elements to the map that reflect their powers and past. But now, every player adds one final detail to it. This final detail can be anything appropriate for this world and your shared fiction. We suggest connecting it to your backstory or your character's goals or factions that your characters might know. Mark an X and say that treasure is there. Draw a great Leviathan breaching the waves. Create an island and give it a name. Did you accidentally splash coffee on the map? Great. Call it a hole in the universe. It's your world too. You've got your hand on the reins of fate. There's definitely I have seen it where people have spilt like tea and coffee onto maps and then they draw around it and that creates their world map. It's very, very cool. Ooh, heck, look at this image. Gorgeous. I love it. I just want to see, look at the detail. I'm just going in quite deep. Look at the detail on the person's hands. And obviously all the sort of markings they've got on it. And almost has like some sort of spiritual thing. Again, I'm going back to the Sea of Thieves and the Order of Souls that they have. And they added the masks sort of melting and smoke everywhere. Very cool. I love it. Alright, so what was I saying? The rules! We love them. You love them. I love them. We're here for them. This game is about talking with your friends, so make it a good conversation. The story, when told, has back and forth tug between the player and the Fates as its backbone. The Fates describe the environment and the players interact with it. The Fates ask questions and the players answer them. The players make plans and the Fates throw a wrench in them. The rules, when they surface in the water, exist only to ensure that the conversation is still interesting. Always remember, grip your character by their throat. Treat them like an old, well-worn jacket. Tear them, patch them, drag them through the muddiest adventures with you. Care about them, but understand that they are made to be worn and torn. Ooh. Your escapades will trigger the rules, not the other way around. More often, these rules come in the form of moves. This is so true. If you've ever played a Powered by the Apocalypse game, you don't ask for checks. You just describe what your character is doing. It's very different to D&D. When I first played one after playing like Call of the Cthulhu and stuff like that, like I'm a person that doesn't really ask for checks that I don't know. But if I've got moves, I'm like, oh, I want to use this move, and I'll try and wheedle it in. But the facilitator or the Fates could be like, no, that's fine. You just do it. And I'm like, oh. But I guess these moves are going to just cover a lot. So it is up to the Fates or the facilitator to pick them up. So let's see what we've got. Ooh, look, another lovely red box. Moves and dice. The world of Rapscallion is defined by the crew's moves, risky, interesting actions that the crew undertakes. Some moves anyone can try, using a sword, steering a ship, tricking an enemy. Some are unique to each playbook, drawing upon demonic powers, busting through walls, reading the stars. You make a move by describing yourself doing its trigger. For example, if you want to roll getting into a scrap, you of course you'll need to get into a scrap with somebody in a fiction first. Excuse me. Ooh. The Fates will prompt you. Sounds like you're trying to make this move, right? If yes, cue the music. Follow the move's directions and see what happens. Usually, making a move requires you to roll 2d6 or 2 six-sided dice to determine the outcome. Many moves might ask you to add or subtract something from this roll, usually one of your characteristics, so like blood, vinegar, polish, or spitfire. Roll the dice, modify the result, and then ask what happens. So this is where we have the levels of success we get with Powered by the Apocalypse games. So if the result is 6 or less, you miss, and the Fates are in control. They get to say what happens. If it's a 7 to 9, you hit, but you pay the devil for it. Oh, I like that. Normally we just call it a mixed success, but I love that. Usually you get what you want, but must make some hard decision or choose a compromise. And if the result is 10 or more, you hit, and you might even get away with it. You're probably going to choose what happens next. Dice terminology. If you receive a plus X or something, that means you're going to add any to any roll involving that something. The effect which will tell you whether it's an ongoing bonus, unless it's permanent. So if you receive an X plus X forward, it means something. It means on your next roll involving something that's something, you get an X bonus to it, but just once. If you roll blank, that means you roll 0. I see. Just 2d6 and a prayer. Unless a special a bonus or power applies to that roll, you can't use them to modify the result. Oh, look at that. Cool. And more hand art. Love it. Love it. Alright, basic moves. Here we go. Alright, these are moves that any pirate can manage. They are upstanding buccaneer basics. Oh, they are any upstanding buccaneers, basic bread and butter. You'll probably roll for each one of them at least once per session. These moves make reference to game terms you might not be comfortable with yet, but if you're curious about them, here is a cheat sheet. Harm is whatever happens when you get hurt. If you take X harm, tally it on your playbook sheet. When you take lots of harm, bad things start to happen. Oh no. Luck. Luck is a special resource that you can accumulate, and you can spend it to get lucky breaks. Use special moves and add a bonus to your rolls. See page 18. If your pirate is compelled to do something, that means they can't help themselves. They have to do it even if they stand their ground against the impulse. Troubles are difficulties afflicting your pirate that might cause them to act differently, usually preventing them from doing something or compelling them to do something foolish. Ante is something you take into fights. When you take the ante, it means you've gained the upper hand and can act like you've spent a bond with your opponent. Okay, so those are sort of general sort of terminologies that will come up in these moves. So the first one we have is getting into a scrap. When you get into a scrap, roll plus blood. So yeah, 2d6 plus your blood modifier. On a hit, your strike lands true. Trade blows with the opposition. On a plus 10, you can take the ante or avoid your enemy's harm, your choice. On a 7 to 9, your enemy presses their advantage or reveals a complication. So this move is about having a fair fight, or as fair as pirates get, anyway. To make it scrapped, it needs to involve risk. If you're stabbing someone in the back or strangling someone in their sleep, the dice can take a nap. But if you're stabbing a ruthless pirate lord in the back or strangling a huge leviathan in its sleep, well now, that's still getting into a scrap. Because getting into a scrap is dangerous, you always take harm unless you roll a plus 10 and choose to avoid the harm. Weaklings and mishaps do 1 harm. Your average full-blooded pirate does 2 harm. Dangerous foes deal 3 harm, and a row of cannons deals 4 harm. So, that's nice. It's something not generic. It's not the word I'm looking for, but something constant. So the DM doesn't have to roll tons of dice for it. On a 7 to 9, your enemy can press their advantage or reveal a complication. Pressing their advantage means they're going to give you a trouble or get closer to their goal, which might be to rob you, kill your mate, or get somewhere before you do. Revealing a complication always adds another element to the fight. They pull out a flamethrower. They reveal secret magics. They pull out your lover's necklace and say, "Looking for this?" with a wicked grin. Alright, second move that everyone gets is break out. Break in or break out. State what your opening is and roll plus blood. On a hit, you've got an in or out. Choose one. You can't get in or out. On a 7 to 9, the fates choose one as well. Oh, I see. Choose one of the following things. Right. You suffer harm or mark trouble. You run into an obstacle you didn't expect. You lose track of something important. You bring something nasty with you. Whoa. So break in or out of something, you need an opening. You can't just waltz into a guarded pirate lair or heavily armed navy ship. Maybe you found an opening by sizing up the place. Maybe you've created an opening with a dirty trick. Sometimes the opening is already obvious, but you have to state it anyway. If you could break in and out of a place easily, this wouldn't be a move, would it? On a hit, you get in or out. That's it. This is a dangerous move. It always has consequences, but it's dangerous because it is powerful. If you see an opening to break out of a prison and you hit, congratulations, you've broken out of prison. You don't have to make this move multiple times to escape from each session each section of the prison, one size fits all. If you bring something nasty with you, most often it will be someone on your tail. You've been spotted or they're in pursuit. But it could also be a curse, or an unwelcome bit of treasure, or an unsavoury hanger-on. Oh. Alright, the next move we get. Hoodwink, sorry. When you hoodwink someone with a clever lie or disguise, roll plus polish. On a hit, they've bought your story for now. On a 7 to 9, the deception is more fleeting than you'd like, or it works far too well. The fate's choice. Hoodwinking is all about deception and disguise. As long as you're playing a part or telling a tall tale, that's hoodwinking. There is some grey area between this and the dirty trick, but when in doubt, dirty tricks use your reflexes, speed and cunning, whereas hoodwinking uses your charisma and force of personality. You're more likely to use a dirty trick in the midst of a swords fight, and you're more likely to hoodwink in the midst of a masquerade, but you probably use both in a heist. When a deception is fleeting, it means they catch on within the scene. This hinges on the fiction. It might be in a few seconds or in a few hours. The time will always be The time is always just a bit too inconvenient. There you go, that's the words I was trying to say. When the deception works far too well, it means you're in too deep. and you have to do something risky to keep pace. Maybe you've dressed up as a noble duchess at the ball, only to be accosted by your sobbing husband about your recent affair. Oh, perfect. Brilliant. Parlay! Of course, you gotta have parlay in there. When you parlay with an interested party, tell them what you want, give them incentive, and roll plus polish. On a hit, they're compelled to take the bargain. On a 10+, your words carry real weight. Gain a bond with each other if you are generous and forthright. On a 7 to 9, they want you to do something for them first. Do it, or they can ignore the compel. You can always try to parlay. It can be a romantic evening at the opera, or in the middle of a gunfight. It doesn't matter so long as your partner is interested. The fates decide what interests them. Usually, a heap of treasure will not go amiss. If your incentive wouldn't ever actually cajole them into listening, you cannot parlay. So choose your incentive carefully. It can be treasure, favours, or even threats of violence, but if your offers fall on deaf ears, the move is not triggered. Size up. When you size up a suspicious situation, roll plus vinegar. On a 10+, hold 2. On a 7 to 9, hold 1. You may hold an additional 1 if you stick your nose somewhere where you shouldn't. Whilst you're in the situation, spend one hold to ask one of the following questions and take +1 whenever you call on the answer to help you. Okay, this is where hold ones and I take 1 + 1 makes sense. I always like, what does hold 1 mean? So here's the questions that you spend the hold. I guess it's just a way of currency, right? So at any point in that scene or in that situation, you'd be like, I'm going to spend my hold. Where's the true danger lurking? Where are the signs of the real treasure? What strange secrets lie just beneath the surface? What here is useful to me or my crew? How can I safely ? Sizing up is all about finding secrets, hidden dangers, secret treasures, or additional information that help you. Sizing up is not about looking around. If you're looking for something that isn't hidden, the fates should give it to you without getting the dice out of their beds. If you're looking for something that's simple that might not be there, consider twisting fate instead of making sure it's there. Sizing up is about finding hidden secrets. Twisting fate is about having lucky breaks. Sticking your nose somewhere where you should feel risky, like your curiosity is getting the better of you, or like you're looking before you leap. But it should also come with some obvious rewards. Getting in over your head and making mistakes is a great way to learn new things. I agree. Here we go. Ooh, dirty trick, and I can see twisting of fate down there. So dirty trick. When you use a dirty trick against an opposition, roll plus vinegar. On a hit, your trick works, but there is a catch. The fates will tell you what it costs to follow through. On a 10+, you do it with no catch, or take the ante, your choice. A dirty trick is anything clever that gets you what you want without, brackets, directly harming someone. If you get into a scrap, you're shooting to kill. A dirty trick is shooting to snap the rope of the chandelier. Sometimes using a dirty trick sets up other moves, such as throwing a smoke bomb to give yourself an opening to break in. Or sometimes a trick allows you to avoid using another move, like throwing a smoke bomb so you can bury the knife in a villain in the cover of darkness without getting into a scrap with them. If your tricks have a catch, it means it will cost you something to do them. Maybe you're out of ammo, or you sprain your ankle, or you have to get within shooting range. Ooh, come on, there we go. Twist fate. When you twist your fate to get out of a sticky situation, roll plus Spitfire. On a hit, spend 1 luck to pick one of the following options. The fates answer the attack question. On a 10 plus, you answer it instead. Ooh. You remember something useful in your pockets. What is it, and how did you get it? You notice something useful overlooked in the area. How will it help you? You see an ally NPC arrive on the scene in the nick of time. Who is it? On a miss, the winds and tides turn against you, and the fates tell you how bad it gets. Whoa. Twisting fate allows you to act as the fates for a single crucial moment. Oh, that's a very cool way of describing it. In narrative terms, it's pirate's luck. There's always a convenient rope to swing on. There's always someone to swoop in and save you at the last minute. There's always another knife. This is why, if you want it to work, it always requires luck. But you don't have to spend luck if you miss. Oh, okay. This move rewards creativity and cleverness. On a plus 10, you could use it to expand the story in ways even the fates didn't expect, like making up a clue to the location of a rival pirate stronghold, or revealing that your family necklace was the key to an ancient chest the whole time. But the more aggressively you make things, the more you should be expected to bargain with the fates for your fiction. For example, you can't undo or completely rewrite something that's already been set up. Well, if you roll a 7 to 9, the fates can decide exactly what helps you. No matter what they choose, it will always be helpful, but it probably won't be exactly what you hoped. If you miss, the consequences match the rewards. Bad luck befalls you, and fortune favours your enemies instead. Alright, I'm presuming these are going to be the final 2 moves. Yeah, final 2 moves on this. Because, yeah, basically every one of your traits will get 2 moves. And then that looks like there's 1 additional one there. Unleash a mysterious power. When you unleash a mysterious power you possess, roll plus Spitfire. On a hit, it does what you want, but it exacts a personal cost or surges out of your control, your choice. On a 7 to 9, both happen. Whoops. On a miss, the fates tell you what terrible force you've unleashed. Okay, so no matter how successful you are, it's always going to cost you something. You must possess the power before you unleash it. It can be anything not quite normal. Your lurking lycanthropic curse. Your siren song. Your connection to the stars. These things come with tags or instructions, but unleashing a mysterious power always allows you to use them in a more peculiar, unusual ways. You can always lose the power forever to make it work perfectly, even on a miss. If you successfully unleash a mysterious power, it will always do what you intend. If it exacts a personal cost, that means you take the brunt of the backlash, either with harm, trouble, or expenditure of resources. If it surges out of your control, it means it will do more than you intended and cause problems in the fiction. Unleashing a mysterious power is always risky. If your goal is to influence supernatural forces in a slower, safer, long-term way, remember you can perform a ritual over downtime. And then finally we've got stand your ground. When you stand your ground in the face of a compel, spend a bond with someone. Explain how they're inspiring to you to overcome yourself, and roll blank. You're always you're always in your own way, right? If the person inspiring you is right here, take +1. If you spend an additional bond with them to see it through, take another +1. If you're facing your vice, take -1. On a hit, you resist the compel. On a 7 to 9, you mark a trouble or give in to the compel, your choice. On a miss, the compel takes hold. Tell the fates how you act in this moment of weakness. Every pirate struggles with vices and temptations. If you wish to resist them, stand your ground. You must spend a bond to do this with someone to do this. Tell the fates how they're inspiring you. This need not be a positive relationship. Inspiration can take many forms. Hating someone's guts can light a fire underneath you just as much as the power of friendship. Oh, that's quite cool. I like that. I like that kind of narrative. But there must always be a connection of some kind, some narrative thread that you can cling to for support. Think of it like a story pitch. The more dramatically you describe their visage, flashing it before you, the more likely the fates are to buy it. Alright. About roughly halfway through. How we're doing? Oof. About an hour in, not too bad. A bond represents a concrete and powerful relationship. You can gain bonds with people you meet on your adventures, and then lean on those relationships to get what you want. You can have up to 3 bonds with someone. If something tells you to gain more bonds with someone, write their name down in a free bond space and indicate the maximum bond you can mark them with. Then fill up your bonds to that number. Okay. You can use a relationship to your advantage by spending a bond with that person, which you do by erasing. Okay, so it's like a resource then. Okay. Let's see. If the fates tell you to gain a bond with Solomon, write Solomon down under bonds. Then you draw a line after the first bond in the tally. You only have 1 bond with Solomon right now, so you can only spend up to 1 bond with them. Okay. Then fill in the first circle in the tally. Bonds represent a concrete and powerful relationship with a person. They can gain bonds with people. You can gain bonds with people you meet on your adventures, and then lean on those relationships to get what you want. You may spend a bond to add a +1 to the roll, or you may spend a bond. You may spend a bond to add 1 to their roll or to your roll against them. You can do this after you see the results of the roll. Okay. To give them or remove them an emotion-based tag or trouble. If it's an NPC, it'll be a tag, but if it's a PC, it'll be a trouble. Okay. Learn their Achilles heel. Fate will describe how you discover it. Use them as inspiration and stand your ground in the face of compel. Be careful with bond. It is a rare resource. Unlike luck, which replenishes often, bonds only refresh at the end of a chapter. Okay. Ante. Whenever you get into a scrap with someone, there is a natural back and forth as each party tries to gain the upper hand. In Rapscallion, this advantageous position is the ante. When something tells you to take the ante in an encounter, it means that one time, at any point in this encounter, you may act as if you spent a bond with your primary target. In that moment, you seize on the advantage you've generated and get 1 over on your primary opposition. You're encouraged to use this as quickly as you can to find your opponent's weakness, to trip them up, to resist their compels. Once the encounter's over, the ante is gone. You can only ever have 1 ante in any one encounter. If the opportunity to take the ante again, either against the same component or someone different, you need to spend the ante that you already have. Okay, right, yeah, it's like inspiration. Okay, I get you. Not too shabby, I agree. Luck. Luck is a resource that you can spend. Your character begins with none. No luck for you. When an ability or when a move or an ability tells you to mark luck, fill the bubbles on your luck tally starting up from the left. I'm going to have to look at this character sheet in a second and see this. Remove X amount of luck. And whenever you spend luck, remove X amount of luck from your tally. So it's like a scale essentially. Oh, every playbook has a different maximum amount of luck they can have at any one time. Oh, that's quite interesting. I guess because some of them will have more powerful moves specific to the playbook, perhaps. Especially if one of them is more into magic, perhaps, than, say, strength. If you have a positive Spitfire score, refresh your luck every session. If your Spitfire is 0 or negative, you don't refresh until another move or the fates tell you to regain luck. So that's the idea. I guess you are lucky because you're sort of, I don't know, you're more your spits. That's to do with the fates and twisting fate, right? So yeah, I guess it's just like, oh, you just the fates favor you this time. Troubles. Troubles are difficulties that afflict your pirate. A trouble can be anything from a bit of seasickness to a broken leg to an unrequited crush. Every playbook has 4 trouble boxes on their sheet. When the fates give you trouble, mark down a box, write down the trouble's name, and describe how it affects you. For as long as it's marked, your character is afflicted with that trouble. Most troubles will compel you to do something on a specific prompt, or prevent you from using a tool or resource. Troubles do have an endpoint that state how they can be removed. Write the endpoint in brackets next to the trouble, like this. You can always clear trouble regardless of its endpoint if the situation changes and the trouble has been abated. Just make sure that you and the fates are on the same page. So for example, Pirate's Cursed, in brackets, you get in trouble for it. That's the thing that is the endpoint. With this what's it called, trouble? With this trouble, you are compelled to steal cool things you see. And I guess this is the consequences of your actions. That's when it ends. Underneath your 4 blank trouble boxes, the playbook lists your vice, a persistent trouble that your pirate will often have to mark. A playbook's vice is one of its most defining features. To understand what that vice does, read the vice section of your playbook. Again, don't have it here to hand. If a player is asked to mark trouble but has no more room for it, they take harm instead, so you don't get away with that easily. Compels. A compel occurs when your character's troubles, weaknesses, or obligations encourage them to do something foolish. Whenever you are compelled to do something, your character must do it. You can't help yourself unless you stand your ground against the compel and prevent yourself from falling prey to your impulse. There are 3 major ways to be compelled: by your troubles, by taking too much harm, or by your oddity or playbook feature. Harm. Your pirate takes harm whenever they are damaged. The amount of harm they take is determined by the playbook. Yep. Mark it down on the harm tally starting on the far left and ticking up. If you ever mark one of the 3 skulls on your harms tally, you're compelled to be done for. Done for means you can't go on. You're knocked out, you're overwhelmed, you're too exhausted to continue, etc. If you strain yourself, you could crawl, limp, or whisper. You recover to normalcy after a scene. If your harm tally is full, roll last words, which is described here. When your harm tally is full, say your last words and roll blank. Oh no. Take -1 for every black mark you have. On a +10, you're still kicking. Take a black mark. If you're done for, but stable. You're done for but stable. On a 7 to 9, fates will offer you a bargain. Take it or take the missed result. On a miss, choose your last words, which is on your playbook sheet. What's that? Oh, we won't find out in this quick. We don't find out in the quick start. Damn it. Equipment. This is stuff. Stuff. As a pirate, you're partial to stuff. Many of your adventures in Rapscallion will have the allure of treasure as their driving force. So choose your character's motives and goals accordingly. Your kit. Some of the equipment shown up in your kit. Some equipment will show up in your playbook's kit. You can always assume that you have these items in your kit, either on your ship bunk or at your belt. No explanation necessary. Just whip them out when you need them. They're your collected possessions. Treasure. When your kit or your fates tell you that you have some amount of treasure, you can decide what that means and what it looks like. One treasure can be a chest of gold coins, a precious lazar brooch, yes, beautiful furniture stolen from a mansion, or a fake eye made of diamond. Sometimes an item will have a tag that it calls it treasure. That means it's valuable. If you accumulate enough treasure, that becomes a hoard, which takes 5 treasure to... 5 treasure, it creates 1 hoard. Finally, a pittance is a small, inconsequential amount of money that you don't have to worry about spending it. It doesn't put a dent in your treasure. Under normal circumstances, you can get anything that costs a pittance without marking anything on your character sheet. When you get a bunch of loot all at once, by stealing it, find it, or negotiating for it, you've plundered a score of booty. It's a long one. When you plunder a score of booty, roll blank. For every piece of evidence that you've got that the score is going to be huge, take +1. On a hit, take 3 treasure in gold, jewels, and choose 1. On a 10 plus, choose another as well. On a miss, you can barely salvage more than a pittance. Take 1 treasure. So, choose one. A beautiful 2 harm weapon that could either be close or far. That is either 2 of the following. So 2 treasure, fire, spray, grappling, powerful, 3 harm, 1 wreck, stun. So these are all tags that would go with that item. Or you could choose a strange object with mysterious powers of the fates devising. A dangerous book with, choose one, important knowledge in it. Great power over the elements. Somebody trapped inside. Somebody trapped inside. 100%. I want several of those books. Documents and letters you can use to choose one. Blackmail someone important. Disguise yourself as someone important. Bargain with someone important for a lot of money. There is also some baggage that comes with it. On a 7 to 9, choose one. On a miss, you can choose 2 to pick a result from the... Like, you can choose 2 to pick a result, 1 result from the booty list above. Okay, yes, sorry. So, the negative, a lackey wants something from the booty. They take wild, but they don't get it. Weird. One of the treasures is the stolen property of a powerful enemy who wants it back. Some of the loot was cursed. The fates will tell you what it might be, what it might take to lift it. Here comes loot. Loot comes with useful tags, qualities about the item that you might use in role-playing, and written in a clear, self-explanatory way. We won't go into all of them. Again, we did kind of cover tags a little bit with City of Mist a little while ago. Let's see if there's any interesting ones. Heavy, we've talked about. Strange. Tome. Armor. Armor helps you to avoid harm. If you have X armor, once per session you can ignore X harm. You can use your armor twice per session, but if you do, the armor breaks or you must mark a trouble. Oh, and then you get different types of armor, so. Ooh, vampiric. That's quite cool. Oh yeah, I guess, yeah, that makes sense. Weapons. Weapons are things that you do harm. That do you harm. Indicates the range at which... the tags indicate the range that they're useful at. So close, reach, far, a real far. Ooh, a real far. As for a real far weapon, if you can see it, you can probably hit it, but you can't hit anything close to you. Oh, cool. And there's some more tags here. Whoa! Look at this! Look at this image. Holy heck! Again, would have that on a postcard. I love that. I love that though. Again, very bad at like imagining leviathans that aren't just like tentacled creatures that you don't see the face of. All right. Alright, every pirate crew has a steed that carries them across the Great Sea. This faithful vessel is your shared responsibility and your greatest treasure, more important than any individual crew member. After all, if one of your crew characters were to strike off on their own, your game camera wouldn't follow them, it would follow your ship, obviously. That's because your ship is your crew's heart, clothed in wood and canvas. This section will describe your ship's traits, moves, and mechanics. So yeah, we've done all this stuff with actual pirates. We're now going to move on to the actual important things. The ship has 3 traits, which we spoke about: steadfast, speed, and fortune. When you're facing peril aboard your ship, you might make a ship move. Ship moves aren't made by just one character; they're efforts made by the whole crew, and the person rolling the move is just leading the charge. If the whole crew isn't on board with your decision, make the ship move but take a -1 penalty. Similarly, take a -1 penalty to all ship moves if the crew is rattled or wild, and these effects do stack. Cool. I'm trying to think what other things, there's Salvage Union that you play, you have your own sort of character sheet, but then you have the actual character sheet of the mechs that you're using to head around and stuff. Alright. So I assume we're going to have probably about 6 moves that are going to 2 of each are going to be for like steadfast, speed, and what was the other one? The other one was like fortune. Okay. So ship moves are for maneuvering into or out of position. Once in position and ready to attack, you can move back to the second by second beats of basic moves. Yeah. Okay. So yes, these are for the overarching stuff. Shoot cannons can be getting into scrap, try boarding is breaking in, negotiate terms by surrender is by parley, etc. Okay, so first ship move is take it head on. When you roll plus steadfast, on a hit you choose whether to get close enough to board or to get broadside with your ship's weapons on target. On a plus 10 you can get both. Oh, very good. On a 7 to 9 your enemy's completely ready for you, whatever you picked. On a miss you miscalculate and the enemy gets you right where they want. Ooh, escape. When your ship's crew gets an opportunity to escape a situation, roll plus speed. On a hit, you get away. Choose one of the following. On a 7 to 9, it's by the skin of your teeth. The fates choose one as well. So you either take damage on your way out, you leave something important behind. That's always great for storytelling. You leave a trail and something dangerous will follow. On a miss, the fates will tell you that the terrible sacrifice you must pay to escape. Pay it, or be caught. Ooh. Oh, they've done them all like on one page, haven't they? When your ship's crew outmaneuvers your opponent to put them in a bad position, roll plus speed. On a hit, you get to describe your enemy where you want them. Describe the opportunity you've opened up. On a 7 to 9, the opportunity is short-lived. The fates will tell you what it takes to seize it. On a miss, your enemy pins you down instead. Fight your way out or surrender. Surrender. When your ship's crew waves a white flag and surrenders to another ship to cut losses, roll plus fortune. On a hit, you convince them to spare you. On a 7 to 9, they'll do some damage as they board. Choose what beloved feature of your ship doesn't survive. On a plus 10, they're sympathetic. Take plus 1 forward to parleying with them as they board you. Excuse me, please don't hurt my ship. Stop blowing holes in it, thank you. On a miss, your pleas fall on deaf ears, and they show you true cruelty as they claim their prize. Navigate. When your ship's crew navigates towards a difficult or new destination, the navigator, our specific character rolls plus Spitfire. On a plus 10, you'll get there with no trouble. The crew takes a downtime during the journey, and the fates will tell you what strange sights you see on the way. On a 7 to 9, you encounter trouble on the journey, and you must contend with it before reaching your destination. On a miss, you face serious trouble that leaves you hopelessly lost. Ooh, some specials. So these must be the upgrades you can get on your ship. As time goes by, your crew becomes more familiar with your ship. You'll invest some time and money into it, and by doing so, make it more special. Specials are a way to represent this relationship. They all have a trigger similar to those moves that allow you to use that special. When you activate it, you must take the special immediately. You can take it as many times as there are boxes next to it. So what have we got? Got better than ever. Cottonclad. I saw Ironclad up there. Equal footing. Found family. All the crew gains one bond with the ship. Oh. Ooh, there's a long one. History. When you need treasure, advice, or manpower from your ship's past, consult the ship's history. Spend X amount of bonds with your ship and roll plus X. On a hit, mark a place on the map where someone or something from the ship's past will help you. The fates will tell you what you might find there. On a 7 to 9, pick one. The thing that you find might not be readily helpful. The place is guarded heavily. This is the last time you can use this move. Ooh. On a miss, you know of a rumour that might help you, but nothing more. Yeah. Ooh, Treasure Island. Underdogs. Oh, some good ones there. Alright. Moving on to... Ooh. Crew and cargo space. These two features rely on your ship's fortune. They basically represent how good your ship is at holding stuff and your crew. Crew space tells you how big a group of lackeys your ship can comfortably hold. Every size, one group of lackeys can take up one crew space. If your lackey group size is larger than your crew space, the extra people are considered cargo. Oh no. And they don't deserve that. And they need to start tallying the extra lackeys in your cargo space. For example, if you have a size 7 group of lackeys but you only have a 6 crew space, that means you have one size group lackeys in the cargo space instead. Cargo can be lots of things. Any big thing, including a unit of tanks, takes up one cargo space. For every one extra cargo you have over the maximum, you take a -1 to your speed. Oh no. Oh no. All right, Dan. Thanks for being here. I'll probably see you in about half an hour, but looking forward to seeing it. Thanks for staying with me. All right. Renown. Renown is a measure of your crew's reputation. How many enemies do you have? How many friends? How many people will curse your name, and how many will shiver at hearing it? If you have renown, that means you're a player on the world stage. The eyes are upon you. Renown begins at 0 and can rise up to 5. Every ship playbook can give you a different renown chart. Oh, that's pretty cool. Which describes what dramatic, provocative things you'll need to do to gain renown. For example, if a legend ship wishes to rise from between 1 to 2 renown, you'll need to gain a new sized group of lackeys and defeat a powerful rival. Excuse me. When you reach 5 renown, you become a legend of the seas. Take your epilogue as your story comes to a close. Oh, so I guess that could be it. That's how you define how long a story is that if you get to that top of a renowned. That's pretty cool. Once you have at least 1 renown, begin using the Renown Pirates move when you finish a downtime in a public place, which is going to be this move here, I'm guessing. Renown Pirates. When your crew finishes a downtime spent in a public place with a renown of 1 or more, one of the crew rolls a d6. If your result is at or lower than your current renown score, pick 1 boon and one unwanted attention at you. You may pick the same boon twice. If the result is higher than your current renown, you've avoided all attention and boons for now. Interesting. So here's the stuff we can get. We can get a new follower. We can learn of a new treasure. You've impressed someone important. But then the unwanted attention we can get is a bounty hunter shows up right now. Right now. A powerful enemy knows that you're here. You'll have to run, or you're cursed by mysterious forces. More shipwreck. Instead of a harm tally, ships have wreck tallies. If it's full, your ship is wrecked. Your ship can only be touched by weapons that have the wreck tag. And the maximum wreck is a ship's wreck plus steadfast. Whoa. It's the vertical bar on your ship's playbook. Whenever your ship takes a wreck, mark boxes on your ship's tally starting from the top, moving downwards. Because every ship tally is different, make sure you mark tally at what level it brings it to. Okay, so we could have extra ones, I guess, depending on how steadfast it is. The tally will make this easy. There's a number written in tally marks indicating what the number of steadfast is required for that space. Okay, yeah. You'll find when you find your maximum wreck, draw a line above it on your tally. That's where your wreck will start. Okay, whatever. I've got armor. Fine. Conditions. Wreck isn't just an abstract measure of harm. Every point of wreck comes with a condition of the fate's choice written on the blank page. Okay. Many conditions are open-ended. You get a -1 to ships or +1 to its enemies. So yeah, that's what we've got. Stern damage. Yeah. Oh, I just remember all the times I've been playing Sea of Thieves and getting bored and be like, yeah, guys, we're dead. We're absolutely dead. Abandoned ship. They also have endpoints, which is good. I see here. So yeah, the final condition is already written on your playbook sheet. When you fill up your wreck tag completely, your ship will slowly begin to sink. Ooh, another great image there. Whoa, very cool. Look at that. Look at that. How cool. Very, very cool. So Tales of Adventure. So far we've learnt the rules of play, and you're probably all set to take your dastardly pirate crew on a few flings. But what about the long haul? Plenty of pirate epics can take over the place over years, bring central scallywags through a whirlwind of faces, storms, duels, and downtime. This quick start may be short and sweet, but it still wishes to provide you with enough ballast? Yes, to fuel long Rapscallion campaigns. For those of you interested in taking this game on a long ride, this chapter will give you all the tools you require. Before jumping in, however, there is an important note. Long games players are its primary fuel. Rapscallion, I'm going to zoom in again. Rapscallion relies on you to be the instigators of plot. Your pirates ought to desire treasure, have grand ambitions, and fall prey to foolish desires. They can't just sit back and let life come to them. If they want the easy life, they wouldn't want to be pirates. Or they wouldn't be pirates, sorry. As you prepare for a grand adventure like this, talk with the fates about what your pirate might want and how their goals might translate into story. I can definitely see this as a limited series. Maybe some evil girls from these worlds, eh? Alright. Optimally, Rapscallion will fluctuate between two states, an exciting adventure full of important and action-packed scenes, and restful downtime, where the characters can recover or travel before getting back to adventuring again. So scenes, continuous actions, by some sort of transition, so yeah, very typical RPG stuff on that front. Yep. A chapter is a contained story within your pirate adventure. Perhaps it covers a quest for ancient treasure, or a chase against a rival crew, or a mystery of cursed gold. If in doubt, the chapter ends when the current story reaches a satisfying conclusion. You've captured the treasure, you've killed the rival, you've solved the mystery. Cool. Downtime is a quiet moment of rest for your crew, usually lasting a week or two. When you enter port or travel unknown routes, you have no pressing business, begin downtime. If you have pressing business, resolve it to begin downtime. If you're actively being hunted, you must play one treasure in port as a crew to take downtime. Ooh, so there is some consequences for that. Okay, cool. If you want to stay in port for more than one downtime, spend one treasure for each extra downtime you take, covering your expenses. So this treasure, I'm guessing that's like the treasure is sort of grouped, perhaps, rather than like individual. It's like, oh, Captain, could you pay again? Oh, I need another night. Oh yeah, need to nurse this hangover, you know. Ooh. When you finish a downtime, you may either heal all harm or remove one applicable trouble, your choice. Applicable trouble is any trouble that would be conceivably would ebb away after a week of lying low. You can't heal or remove troubles that you took during the downtime. Yeah. During downtime, you can pursue longer-term projects, which can be downtime moves. You only have time for one downtime move every downtime you take. Yeah. For instance, you might not be able to get the scoop on something or make any new dubious friends if you're taking downtime at sea. Okay, so some of these will be port related than sea related. Very cool. Downtime moves. These are any moves that crew members could take if it makes sense for the fiction. There's also unique downtime moves in the player books as well. Okay, cool. And you can tell the difference because they will say during downtime in the book. So what we've got, gamble. Gamble during downtime is plus Spitfire. On a hit, take 2 treasure. On a plus 10, pick a renowned boon and tell the fates what you get. On a miss, pick 1. Ooh. I like that. So you lose 1 treasure and are in debt if you don't cash it in. You cheat to get 1 treasure but choose an unwanted attention from renowned pirates. I presume renowned pirates is like some sort of table that we're going to come to. Carouse. Spend 1 treasure and plus 1 polish. On a hit, mark 3 luck. On a 10 plus, tell the fates whether you've made new friends, caught the wind of an opportunity, or and describe it. On a miss, mark 1 luck, but you overindulge in your weakness. Mark your playbook's vice. Get the scoop. Roll plus vinegar. On a hit, ask 2. On a 7 to 9, ask 1. So you're basically rumor gathering, spot hidden stuff. What do the locals know about X? Where can I find X? What can I do? How can I get the locals to X? What are the hidden dangers if I X? On a miss, the fates will tell you why you didn't get answers to what you seek. Take a trouble to ask one. Make dubious friends. Roll plus polish. On a hit, tell the fates what favor they are willing to do for you. On a 7 to 9, the fates will tell you what they expect from you in return. On a miss, they will give you a trouble. Clear it, and when you do what they want. Tinker, roll plus vinegar. Create an object with 3 tags or repair an object to good working order. That's on a hit. And on a 7 to 9, choose one of the following. The fates choose one of the object's tags or add a bad one. Cost 1 treasure to complete. On a miss, you're missing something crucial. The fates tell you where you can find it. Once you do, complete this move as if you've rolled a 7 to 9. Oh, that's quite nice. Like, you're not just surrounded by projects that you've not finished, essentially. Perform a ritual. When you have something strange and you want to perform a ritual on it or do something with it during downtime, roll plus Spitfire. Take +1 for every true thing. You're familiar with this ritual. You sacrifice something strange. You mark trouble to see it through. But then you could also -1 for every true thing. You're flying by the seat of your pants. You're not strange. On a hit, the ritual completes its goal. On a 10+, choose 1. On a 7 to 9, the fates choose another. Just to be clear, because I know I maybe didn't say it at the beginning, but a hit means 6 or above. And then it's those levels and degrees of success that are something to know about. So... Ooh, interesting. So these are the things that you could add. It always goes wrong then, it says here. So it completes its goal, but you choose 1, and then 2 happens, so... The ritual effect is not quite as it planned. You must sacrifice something, or you are cursed or changed in the process. On a miss, the ritual backfires. The fates will tell you what trouble it has left you and what useful thing you've learnt in the process. NPCs. There are any character performed by the fates. They're supporting cast and your adventures, encompassing a vast scope of colourful personalities. Anything from dastardly villains to royal crew members to strange beasts. Your pirate will interact with these supporting cast constantly. So they are just basically lackeys. That's the sort of general term for them there. We've got some tags here, which could be sort of to flesh them out a little bit. Oh, I like some of these are quite interesting. Enamoured, they'll do what their object of affection wants. Enraptured, they can't take their eyes off something. Ephemeral, mundane weapons will not work on them. Cool. Sorry, like cheeky jacky music. These tags aren't always permanent. A rattled screw member. Oh, that's a good point. What does rattled? Rattled indicates that they slip at the worst moment. Oh, very cool. And shakened was take +1 forward to parlay with them or hoodwink them. Okay, so they're a little bit easier to persuade them to do stuff. Cool. So lackeys are the NPCs that work underneath you. They might be part of your ship's crew, or they might be stationed elsewhere operating hidden lairs or otherwise doing your bidding. Many ships' playbooks come with groups of lackeys. When you need a good NPC for a task, you can always pull a lackey from your crew. The fates will decide what their name and tags are. Excellent. They will usually follow orders and do their jobs adequately, but they are also people living their own complicated lives. The following sample lackeys are given tags to represent how they could be useful to you, but also tags to tell you how they might complicate the story and make trouble for the player characters. When you're in doubt about how a lackey might approach or react to something, look through their tags and use them as guidelines. So you've got some example ones that you could just use and build off there, so that's quite cool. Baggage. Oh. Wild. Boatswain. Or boatswain? It's boatswain. Boatswain. Enemies. Your crew are 1,000 enemies. Just like lackeys, enemies have plenty of skills, conflicting motivations. The difference is they'll probably be using them to hurt you. Most enemies will have tags that will help you understand how to interact with them. +2 harm, health, etc. Yeah, so this will take a little while. Even for me, it takes a little while to just sort of read through, like, and translate what these mean. So like the pirate legend, so they get the tag legend. They also do free harm. Their harm tally, so their own hit points is 6. They've got tough, which I assume that means they've got armor on. They're connected. They're skilled, commanding lackeys. Shapeshifter, secret pet Leviathan. So that's a bad enemy. Whoa. Stuff about groups. I don't think we need to go into too much detail about this. A little bit too much. Oh, and then advancement. Oh, look at that image. You can gain when you gain a level, erase all. Oh, you're tallying. You mark experience on your character sheet's tally. The amount of experience you need to level up is your desired level +5. Yep. So to get to level 1, your first level you need 6 to mark 6 experience. Yeah. How do you receive it? Whenever you roll roll a 6 or lower. Oh, whenever you fail. Sorry, that's what it's meant to say. Whenever you fail, mark an experience. When you get free bonds with somebody, mark experience. And during the chapter's end. At the end of each chapter, you ask the group... Oh, these are questions... Yes, this is another very typical Powered by the Apocalypse thing where you answer questions that you've taken. Have you defeated an important foe, claimed great treasure, or accomplished one of your character's goals? Declare at the end, replace your bonds, and then choose to mark experience, mark to luck, or heal to harm. Oh, look at... Oh, that's a djinn. I just realised what that image is. It's a djinn there. Look at this image. Oh, beautiful. Now this I would have as a postcard. Fiona and her postcards, am I right? Sorry, I'm leaning to watch them. I'm a little bit tired now. Oh, we're almost done. Just got another 7 pages to go. I really should have brought some more water as well. Okay, so it says here, the Fates. If you choose to play the Fates, you will need to wear 1,000 faces. You are the head storyteller to this story, and your singular aim is to keep the tale interesting and meaningful. So how do you play a whole world? There's a lot to juggle. To help, Rapscallion comes with some core mechanics that neatly frame the Fates job. These mechanics are listed in order from biggest picture to smallest picture, all the way from abstract principles to play-by-play story beats. Your agendas are big story goals that you'd want to achieve. If you hit these goals, you're playing Rapscallion as intended. Your compass, on the other hand, is a little list of practical advice on how to achieve these goals in day-to-day play. Your fate moves are specific story beats that, like player moves, allow you to add to the game's conversation and move it in certain directions. You use them when the fiction demands it, usually when a player misses the move. So yeah, again, going back to that Powered by the Apocalypse, is that if you miss a move, then I can make a hard move against you. So, the agenda for Rapscallion, for the Fates, is that keep the world live, wild and adventurous, fill the crew's lives with temptation and turmoil, play to find out what happens. Compass says, address the crew, not the players, be the crew's biggest fan, ask provocative questions and build upon the answers. Show them all the cards and let them react. Ooh. Give them a stage and let them do cool things on it. Make the world a living thing, lively and strange. Tempt them with beautiful treasures. Hunt them with 1,000 enemies. Use downtime to give the game an ebb and flow. And never let them forget their vices. So basic moves, so this is when they fail, that I can do any of these moves. So describe danger approaching, offer them a cool opportunity with a cost, give or trade harm, invoke a problematic tag. I assume it's a troublesome tag rather than the word problematic. Compel someone, inflict a trouble or remind them of advice, threaten to bond lackey or equipment, jeopardize their treasure or their ship, reveal strange dark magic, give them unwanted attention, throw winds, waves or monsters at them, pitch them into faction-changing battles, introduce a powerful new enemy. After every move, what do you do? Before digging into these specific moves, because I keep the world... So yeah, it's just going to go into details about this, which makes sense. I'll just skip over them a little bit, because I thought there was something about maps I wanted to look at. Your story should be fun, dangerous, exciting. It should feel like a pirate's playground, and your players should fly from one action-packed set piece to the next. If you have a ball, make it a masquerade. If you have a heist, set it in an opera. It's okay if your plots are tropey and silly. Embrace the foolishness, begin and end with a bang. Something exciting is always happening just around the corner or just over the next wave. Make the game unabashedly about your player characters. Care deeply about what they want and then give them the tools to get it at a price. Because make no mistake, your protagonists are scallywags, each and every one of them, and it is your job to remind them of their darker side. If you're in doubt whether to lead a story, your players' vices are never a bad place to start, or where to lead a story, sorry. Remember that you, the Fates, do not know where this tale will end. If you did, you wouldn't be playing this game. You simply write a book instead. Sometimes the uncertainty can be scary, but at the heart of every good story is a surprise. What will come next? Embrace this unknown and make it your friend. Your player Players will destroy your best laid plans like a cat let loose on dominoes, so don't lay plans. One of the most precious and hard-won skills for the Fates is the ability to improvise, to roll with the punches, and to be and free yourselves from your own expectations. Very good. And then it's going to talk about. Oh, okay. So it sort of looks. I'm going to look at this in a little bit more of an overview for this bit. So 3 types of NPCs. We've got faceless mooks, who are just soldiers and mobs. But then pirates should have a little bit more to them, so because they're more lawless people of the seas, I can see here. And then legends, they are NPCs with a legend tag. So they are interesting roadblocks. Very cool. And then how to make a quick NPC comes here. And then some advice on creating descriptors and stuff. Very cool. Alright, gonna shuffle on a little bit though. Factions. Oh, look at that sword. Oh, love it. Rapscallion's world is... Oh, let me zoom in a little bit. Rapscallion's world is alive, hungry, shifting, ever-changing. When the crew looks away, 100 backs are stabbed in the dark, and 1,000 different deals are struck. Never let the players forget that. You can use factions to keep track of these daggers and deals, and to group the sea into concrete colours. When you create a faction, list its name, a goal, associated characters, places, and current status. Yeah. Mm-hmm. When you create a faction, remember to connect it to a character. Connect it to the world and give it facets and use it as ammunition. Okay. Sounds good. Now this is what I want to look at before we sort of end today's stream, so the map. So let me zoom in a little bit. When you first set the map in front of your players, it should have 4 things already drawn upon it. Sketch of a terrain. If in doubt, place some scattered islands in a vague semicircle within a vast sea. Leave plenty of open spaces. A place of authority, i.e. the Queen's capital, the ironclad fortress, the floating citadel of the law's right hand. If in doubt, place it on the largest landmass, separating it from the others. A place of lawlessness, the pirate's forge water, the unmeasured archipelago, the nationless city of Horizon. Oh, that's a quite cool name. If in doubt, place it in the middle of all the excitement, within easy reach of the islands, seas, and treasures. A place of mystery, the Warden's Reach, the Cemetery Sea, and the hole in the world. If in doubt, place it in the margins, forever tempting players to sail off the map. Through character creation, and then at the very end, the players will also add things to the map as their playbooks and their backgrounds will dictate. After this, the map is best stationed on the table in the middle of the group, where anyone can stare at it, pick up, and doodle. Use the map to excite players. They should feel the itch to go exploring and sail further and find the margins. Make those blank spaces on the map enticing. Give them agency. If a player has a good idea about their backstory, invite them to place their hometown, parents' farm, or secret hideout on the map. It should feel like an open space to play in, not an exclusive domain of Fates. Establish important details. Use the map to slowly introduce your world in a player-focused, easily digestible way. Here, the map's emptiness prevents unfiltered info dumping. Oh, so true. So bloody true. As the world details and factions become relevant to the story, put them in the map. It's concrete, visual, and approachable world building. I really like that. I wonder if I should do something like that for my next workshop. Make plot twists and big reveals. Use the map to pull the rug out from under your players. A secret island in the middle of a previously empty ocean. A hidden underground cove leading to below the fortress. A continent that moves and talks. This map will begins small this map begins small partly because you don't want to treat it like it's precious. If you mess up, remake it. If it's too small, add to it. Don't feel intimidated by a blank page. It is your playground. How big should my map be? Remember first and foremost that don't be precious with your map. It's not like if it's not working to you, remake it. Zoom in and out as needed. It's your playground. However, here's a few tips about scaling. If you're crafting a single adventure on play, then keep your map small and focused. Just include a few islands. Even if you're planning to play for many months with your pirate crew, a cozy little map like this can feel right. You might want to chase the horizon and explore a new territory, expanding your map as you go. But longer campaigns, especially more faction-focused ones, can also benefit from a large scale. Freckles of archipelagos, framing vast stretches of sea between them, perhaps 1 or 2 continents to shake things up. Oh, cool, I like that. And then using troubles. Troubles are a list of characters' current problems. No more, no less. It's very useful to keep a list of your players' current troubles in your notes. They're part of your arsenal, a source of interesting compels and complications. A trouble can be anything from a broken leg to a magical curse to a really big crush. They can be tricky to pin down, particularly if you wish to create one on the fly. The basic anatomy of a trouble is this. So the effect that the trouble is inflicting on the character and an endpoint in brackets that tell you how to remove the trouble. A good trouble will put the narrative first. It's not overly mechanical. The more narrative focused it is, the more broadly the applicable it becomes. Sorry, I'm just going absolutely mad there. Prompt adventure. The endpoint should be a call to adventure. Stays in its lane. Not all troubles are created equal. Some are meant to be minor nuisances, others are more long-term problems. Don't be afraid to be transparent. If you don't want a trouble to take longer than a scene, make its endpoint finish a scene. So you don't want to make a complicated endpoint just to have the trouble overstay its welcome. So here's some examples. There's some broken leg. Enamored we have again, hounded, indebted, pirate's cursed. We've had before spice eater, overdose or free downtime sessions about. You're compelled to partake in spice. Oh, so you have drugs in this place as well. When you see it, for an hour afterwards, you are compelled to jump blind into every dangerous, weird situation that is offered to you. Sugar high. Ooh, similar things to like drugs. I'm sure this place could be a little bit more family friendly. And there's some advice on what to do about the pace and stuff for being the fates. Don't need to go into all that. Oh, and then finally some common items for purchases. With again, I quite like this idea of treasure cost. That it feels a bit more sort of a general amount of things, like a pittance. You know, we're not going. Oh, it's 7 gold. Like, no one cares. And that's it. That is it. We've done it. 41 pages according to this. But there is Rapscallion. What do we think, folks? What do we think? I like it. I like it a lot. I should really download. Tell you what, I will. Whilst I'm sort of chatting away, I will download the other handouts and stuff. I think it's quite fun, actually. There's something about it's got all the fun things that I like. Sorry, now how do I spell Rapscallion? I've got it there. So Rapscallion. Oh. It's got all the things I'd like in this game. I think or in like a pirate game. It seems quite fun and silly. It feels very what's it called? Our flag means death. I think that's what it's called. Already I can see that the crew playbooks and the cruise ship playbooks are really cool. Alright, let's open these up. No, don't open them there, you silly Billy. Sorry, I'm really enjoying the music actually. Alright, there we go. Crew playbooks are opening now. Look at that, the beautiful images there. Yeah, you can only take up to 5 harm, and there's the base cost. So that's what. So I guess everyone starts at level 0 as well. Very cool. And then so there's where you put your bonds, and that's the 3 different bonds you would spend with people. Let's have a quick. We're gonna have a quick look at these. It's a very very lovely character sheet. I will say that. So your advice for a captain is obsessed. Risk and compel for the sake of the crew. You're compelled to find the fates to pursue your ambition at all costs. If you screw over a crewmate in the process, mark 1 experience. Ooh. When you speak your last words, inspire the crew as you perish. Fall into disgrace but remain barely alive. Oh, very cool. Choose a new playbook, that final one there. Ooh, very cool. Oh, and there's some... Oh, I guess it's on the back as well, so stuff that you can do. So you got some playbook moves there as well. There's a lot of... It's very tiny writing. I mean, I'm not zooming in on these ones, but you can see. I just want to have a quick look through. The Chronicler there. Oh, Book Fever. I can see the vices. I wonder... Let's have a quick read of that then, shall we? You're compelled by the fates to retreat into your books to escape problems. When you abandon the needs of your crew, whilst doing so, mark 1 experience and gain 1 bond with the books you retreated to. The book begins to manifest a will of its own in the form of a djinn. Spend 1 bond with this djinn to use the book's powers freely without rolling, conditions, or consequences. If you wish to use this book otherwise, you must parlay with the djinn instead, unleashing its power. Very cool. Ooh. Last words. Conceive one that know you will live by running away. Make a new character if you wish to stay on the crew. Damn. Some brutal ones here. Swashbuckler. Oh, beautiful. Gorgeous. Gorgeous! And then, what was the other ones? Oh, wow. The Mountebank? Oh, sorry. And the Matelot. God, these are... Oh, look at that! That's an octopus. Oh, like, oh. Of course, because you're... Yeah. Sorry. I'm just going, yeah, this is great. I love it. I love it. And then the Navigator. Whoa. These images are great. You know what? Because they've done in such a way, I'd love to see these as like bookmarks that you could put in the final book of Rapscallion. Oh, these are gorgeous. Now, let's have a quick look at the ship playbook as well, whilst we're here. Oh. So again, these are beautifully done playbooks. Renown. Oh, so that's the renown thing from before. Cool. Become pirate lords. Epilogue there as well. It talked about it. What does the epilogue do? Yeah. So when you get to 5 renown, you become true pirate lords. At 5 renown, you become true pirate lords. Top dogs of the sea. Cut to 5 years later, and then you do the epilogue. In this world where waves erase all things, the only biggest legends leave their thumbprints on history. You have the world's eyes on you, and by the gods, you have put on the show of the century. No one will forget your names, the greatest pirates that will ever swindle, swagger, and swashbuckles. Focus on the crew one at a time. Ask them, where are you now? What new aims do you have? What big changes have wrought upon the world? What stories do they sing about of you in the port taverns? Then ask the whole crew, what happened to your ship? Are you still having adventures? Or are you now another piece of the ship's legacy? Thanks for playing Rapscallion, and come back again another time. Oh, very cool. And then these are the oddities per se in the kit. I want to see what the Ramshackler says. And you cut to 5 years later. That's so cool. Well, there you go. That is Rapscallion. So I just wanted to have a quick check at those playbooks. Yeah, I love the way it's designed. The writing is really, really lovely in this as well. Really, I'm actually very excited for it. Appreciate I lost a bit of energy towards the end because I'm like, oh guys, there's quite a bit to remember. But that's the same with all these Powered by the Apocalypse books. But already I'm like quite excited by feeling like, as like I said, I'm a big fan of like Monkey Island, the like Muppets Treasure Island, and Flag Means all anything like that. Where Sea of Thieves, it has all those sorts of vibes which are quite exciting, and I can imagine leaning into that silliness, but also that sort of mysticness as well, of like having gods and patrons and fighting off leviathans, and yeah, as I can imagine you have a lot of fun with this. So brilliant stuff. This is where if I do, let me open the Rapscallion product page, go back. It's coming soon. That's where it is, right? There you go. I was going to say there's Rapscallion. No, I don't want to go. Don't want to download it now. I will say these websites are useless. Let me put that back up. So there you go. That is Rapscallion. You can go onto Magpie Games and download your free copy of it. A free quick start of it. I don't know when it's coming out, unfortunately. Oh yeah, you can see there. You can see there. If you're a fan of Pirates of the Caribbean, Sinbad, or Princess Bride, you'd love Rapscallion. Of course, Princess Bride. That would be a cracking way to inspire stuff. There is a Princess Bride RPG actually, which I would recommend checking out. But yeah, you can find Rapscallion Quick Start from Magpie Games. Free. It's free to download. And yeah, uses Powered by the Apocalypse, which is really great. With all that out of the way, thank you so much for spending. What did we start with? About 2 hours ago. We did 2 hours of this wonderful game. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. As I said at the beginning, my name is Fiona. I run What Am I Rolling, which is a twice monthly RPG one-shot podcast where we do lots of different RPG systems and how we can tell stories and stuff. I also am an improviser, and I'm starting to do lots of workshops around how we can use role-playing game mechanics and how we can put them into our improvised scenes as well. And I've just recently done a workshop on creating world building and treating that as a main character. I sort of talked about that at the beginning of the session, at the beginning of this stream. So I'll be doing a few more of those, so you can go check those out. I've got a page for that, I think, if I just put Fiona. This is when all my Nightbot things come out. Yeah, check what Fiona's up to. I've got a flow code page for that. Depends if YouTube will come up for that. So those are good. If you're like, I've been really enjoying these things, I wonder if you've got any more events. We've got quite a few events happening this week. If you want to find out more, come join the Discord and the other other podcast, DM's Book Club, which is a D&D specific lore podcast where we look at different bits of D&D lore and how we can improve it and make it more interesting. But tomorrow, I will quickly advertise, we've got our secret film club. So secret that I have to tell you about it, which we're going to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's myself and my co-host Hamilton. I'm really looking forward to it. It's one of my favourite films of the last year, and Hamilton, I don't think has seen it, so that's going to be really exciting. I just can't wait for that. Also, if you like pirates, Hamilton is actually doing a pirate Borg, which is like a hack and mort board. It's actually in a stream of Pirate Borg with our friend Taylor from Backwater Bastards on the Actual Play UK stream on this Thursday and next Thursday as well. Other than that, I'm going to be back here tomorrow. We're going to do Troubleshooters as a quick start for tomorrow's stream, which is very much like Tintin and those sort of classic comics that you might have read as a kid. But thank you so much if you're still here. If not, thank you for watching the stream afterwards. Let me know what you think. Would you play Rapscallion? I certainly have ideas now. I might do a pitch to Girls from These Worlds if I've got time. But thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to awkwardly look for my my button to take me out. And until next time, my friends, thank you so much. Have a good evening, and I'll see you next time. I'm going to wave awkwardly and hit the camera.